My name is Tosh Sherkat, and I'm a poet living in Victoria on ʷəŋən land. I attend the University of Victoria, and we're here on Christmas Hill. My soul had a girlfriend. My soul lives in the Christmas Tree Valley, sleeping soundly in the red brick heritage town with the big orange bridge, blissing out for the bare naked polar bear swim. Ski bum, party pants, poutine and ice melting in his beard, a smile stuck on his face like the aftermath of a group photograph. I visit the valley from time to time. I am the thing I hope to find. Slip quietly into a motel, paint color into my cheeks with punk rock and utter certainty, and I am not proud, even if I knew how to be. We meet for coffee and talk about the weather. His black mold basement smells like French baking and drying ski skin glue. He's going to culinary school to pay off my student debts. The conditions aren't good this year, he says. The early storm left a sliding base in the mid-pack. His roommate rolls his eyes and returns to stitching his shadow back to his feet. My soul had a girlfriend of a few months. From the city, said something about escape. They made snow angels, made love in the sauna at the rec center. She was fixing my grammar, he says. Always had a hard time in school. Couldn't figure out the difference between there and there. Mumbles something about her being too much. She's still on his Netflix and he pays $15 a month. Nothing much changes in this snow globe town. A pre-work lap on Morning Mountain, then a headlamp tour of Dusk Ridge. Arms carve lines into air slopes and snow drifts. Shoulder puncher says I should stay longer. Try to keep up one day this week. We stand in the parking lot, breathing out cold air like vomiting milk, like the cinnamon challenge. I tell him I don't have the time. He points at his wrist. I make a feeble attempt to bribe him back into me with bubble tea. A week, I'll take care of you. He laughs like Santa. Bad conditions there, sloughing me off. Avalanche is the only cause of death he knows. Party Pants jumps off the roof and breaks his leg in a snowbank. Hoots all the way to the hospital in the back of a pickup. My soul lives in the valley, in the rows of good old boy trees that wait to get logged, get severance, get pension, get planted. He burns his old skis as sacrifice to the gods, and last year he built a tree fort for when rent gets too high. I highway back to the city. Roaring logging trucks rain, endless lines of them. I'm here on the unceded lands of the ʷəŋən Nation, reading poems that take place in Ktunaxa and Sinixt land. My presence here is inseparable from the violence settler colonialism has enacted upon indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. This poem is titled, "Here, Home is a Trick of the Light." The tracks follow back to an empty fireplace. I left to follow the only calling I could hear. The railway through Rogers Pass. Stumbled on, rusted spikes pounded by gnarled backs of interned workers. Men who pulled too many ghosts out of watered rubble and built my home instead of tombstones. I walk alone with them tonight, permitting a silence through no right that I own. Perhaps those men too listened and died in the canvas man camps, knowing they chiseled into this place that told them no. The wound in the hillside flickers in the night. Coal rounds a bend. I hear the hum and the evening robins leave the rods. For the trees, as nation-whipped men might leave one lie for another, one motherland for fiction and a blurry photograph. Worth nothing now, I leave pennies to rattle and split, having little else in my pockets. And think back when Johnny and Carter lay their heads against the tracks and asked me to do the same so I could hear the hum and know that I was going home or somewhere near it because we did not always know the way and perhaps never would. Even when Mother called us back, calls us in, because it is dark and home is a trick of the light. This poem will appear in Plenitude in the spring of 2022. My mind is a car wreck. My parents die in. I do not pray to the sun before it buries sin, the pane of my apartment window, then leaks and pools over the pavement sky. Rain traffics my apartment window and dries like vitreous cells, like siren prayers, and the river of cars stops, dies. Sin slows, stops on the kneeler of dry pavement. Sky, the door opens. Light leaves the stained glass. Every night I do not pray to the pavement sky. I turn on headlights and wind through eyelash glare. There's a cop on the side of the road, dunked in sleep in the dewy lights. My cop kneels, prays to the blue smoke, the cloud smoke, the rain smoke, the dry road, and his buttons are on backwards, and he is dressed all in black, and he's sleeping in my mind. Walk the beat around Baker Street. Bowling lanes are gone. Now a parking lot with bark-stripped logs for parking lanes. On the corner of Victoria Street, a shackle of fresh 2x4s reach up with clawing joists from their rebar roots. Still no roundabout at the four-way to the industrial zone, where the A&W revolves their drive-through. Lines drawn on concrete in the night for better traffic control, filled in by hopscotched toddlers. Graffiti on the back of BMO. Good, still there. I've learned the importance of finding something borrowed if it's been lost. The old mall is still an old mall. The parking lot is still $2.50 an hour. I drop my car keys in the drain on the way to the bakery. Keep pushing them further, lost with the tips of my fingers. This poem is published in the most recent edition of Event Poetry, the 1998 avalanche of Kokanee Glacier Park. The sun bleeds behind stained glass peaks. Night is crowning. Skis like crosses in a big white graveyard. I'll have a nephew I'll never know. He kicked a warning in Morse code. Through buried streams and bruised trees, asking me to hoist the wind to his mouth like an anchor, but my barrel chest burns like diamonds crushed in the pregnant snow. This poem also appears in the most recent issue of Event Poetry. Someone show me Planet B. Here on Government Street, our mother is dying, how dare you? Think there's a brilliant technology, doesn't cost much to anyone, but you burn the wrong Amazon. The climate is hotter than you are. Ha ha, why did I drive here? I blushed when she gave me a wink and chanted, hey, hey, ho, ho, climate change has got to go. The city was a circus. Clowns for climate justice. Megaphone yelled, 4,015 odd days. This is all there is to save. What if I'm just a fossilized unicorn in a street for dinosaurs, and no museum for me? CEOs look through rooftop windows, tangled like shoes tied around telephone wires. I can almost make them swing. We're all going to die. And you are naive if you think we can do it, like throwing gold bricks in a wishing well.